Volkswagen presents the 7th generation of the Golf GTI. We check out the Performance Edition in southern France. It packs 169 kilowatts of power. No major changes were made to the outside of the new GTI, and why should there be? Aficionados know what matters about their Golf, so Volkswagen concentrated on the performance. The progressive steering system results in a significantly smaller steering angle. That means just over 2 full turns from one end stop to the other. Former race ace Hans-Joachim Stuck calls the performance sensational. You don't have to turn the wheel that much going into a bend. It's more precise. This is crucial in terms of feedback for the driver so he can feel the curve better.
Für den Fahrer unheimlich wichtig, weil dann die Kurve besser spürt.
And there's more. The performance is further enhanced by a front axle differential lock. It's an electronically controlled mechanical lock to give the car even more traction, explains VW's chassis development chief. What we've done is added something innovative to the car to make the front-wheel drive extra sporty. The front axle differential lock actively pulls the car into curves while accelerating. It's called torque vectoring. The understeering you used to see in front-wheel drive cars is completely compensated here. It means the car pulls into curves wonderfully. As well as upping the performance, though, the makers also wanted to make the new GTI more nimble. Since it's a compact sports car, we had to make the GTI light, says Gies. We stripped off 42 kilograms. Torque is also important. We added 70 Newton meters for a total of 350. At the same time, we lowered fuel consumption. It's now at 6 liters for 100 kilometers. And the overall result? We can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.5 seconds. Those are the crucial figures when describing the GTI. The 7th generation has twice the amount of output as the original GTI. The performance version we tested delivers 169 kilowatts of power. Let's compare the original GTI with the latest edition. In the front, back then as now, there's the GTI logo. The front lights and indicators now comprise a single unit. And the wing mirrors have built-in signals too. From the side, the GTI looks very aerodynamic, and there's no escaping the famous logo there either. The rear is likewise unmistakable. Thanks to the dual injection system with both direct and multi-point fuel injection, the GTI fulfills the Euro 6 emission standard that takes effect in 2014. It retains the simple but classic elegance of the original GTI, and the 3-spoke steering wheel is still around today. Still a standard feature is the golf ball style shift knob. The checked pattern seats have lost none of their charm. So much for the visual impact of the new GTI. But how does it drive? We have a real expert answer these and other questions. He gives a racing driver's take on the front axle differential lock. When you hit a curve and notice that the car is getting unsettled, you accelerate. The car practically pulls around the curve by itself because a hydraulic lock engages at the front that prevents the wheel spinning. It's great.
Das Einzeldurchdrehen der Räder verhindert. Das fährt sich so toll, das muss man einfach mal probiert haben.
But just to make sure, he put the new GTI through its paces around the famous Paul Ricard circuit. It's immediately apparent that the differential lock is very useful. Around bends, the GTI firmly hugs the road, especially at high speeds. 350 Newton meters of torque, just what Hans Joachim likes. He gets the most out of the GTI's power, particularly around curves. He's very impressed.
It's
hard to believe how fast we went around bends. It's incredible. When taking curves, you feel totally safe with the steering, and when accelerating, absolutely top-notch. Bentley unleashes the latest version of the Flying Spur. The revamped engine has 460 kilowatts, 48 more than its predecessor, and a maximum torque of 800 Newton meters. That enables the new Spur to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.6 seconds. The new design's grille is almost vertical. The luxury sedan can go a maximum of 322 kilometers an hour. It sells in Germany for prices starting at 192,000 euros. BMW's F800 GS Dual Sport is now available in an adventure version. The bike's new features include a fuel tank volume that's been enlarged to 24 liters, increasing mileage by some 120 kilometers. It also has a more comfortable seat and a larger windshield. The touring motorcycle is driven by a 4-valve twin-cylinder engine with 800 cc and 63 kilowatts of power. In Germany, the new adventure bike costs just over 12,000 euros. Chevrolet is bringing a new off-roader to Europe. The Trax is the latest in a long line of Chevy SUVs. Back in 1935, the Suburban Carryall became the first ever sports utility vehicle. 78 years on, we take its youngest descendant out for a test run. Reinhold is doing something most people don't do with their cars, taking it off-road. So why do people buy SUVs? Because you sit higher up and have a better view. Plus, they're practical. In the Trax, you can fold over the front passenger seat armrest, so you can fit in shelves up to 2.30 meters long.
Nichts wie ab zum Möbelmarkt, denn dann passen hier Regale rein mit einer maximalen Länge von bis zu 2,30 Meter.
The Trax is based on the GM Gamma 2 platform, which is shared with the Opel Mokka. The seats can be folded down easily, increasing the cargo capacity to 1,370 liters. Instead of shelves, however, we're loading in a life-size picture of a basketball player. The marquee stands for affordable vehicles, sound design, dependability, and functionality, says Chevrolet Germany's managing director. And the Trax is a good example. You immediately notice the unmistakable design. And a sporting one at that. There's the large radiator grille with the Chevrolet logo in the middle. The Trax measures 1.70 meters by 4.20 meters, fairly compact for an SUV. And you notice that on the inside, too. The interior is tidy and clearly structured. As a driver, you find everything you need quickly enough. Among the optional extras is the MyLink infotainment system, which links up your smartphone to the Trax via Bluetooth or USB connection. As well as music, it also delivers navigation data. The system is operated using buttons on the steering wheel and a touchpad. The Trax comes with a choice of 3 engines. We tested the most powerful, a 1.7-liter diesel unit with 96 kilowatts of power. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. The manufacturer claims fuel consumption of 4.9 liters for 100 kilometers. That's not a bad stat for an SUV of this size. The Trax is a very balanced ride, which is not that normal for SUVs because of their higher position. Racing cars are extremely low in order to maximize road holding. Making a car higher is a problem for the chassis and the overall balance, but the Trax manages that wonderfully. The entry-level model with a 1.6-liter gasoline engine goes on sale in Germany for just under 17,000 euros. The top-level version we tested cost 26,000 euros. So, what does our reviewer reckon? Reinhold was impressed by the Trax's handling and agile engines, both diesel and gasoline. It has a clearly laid out and very spacious interior with a maximum cargo capacity of 1,370 liters and a 2 meters 30 maximum loading length. That's always a plus, even if you don't need to transport a basketballer every day. An old factory hall in Germany serves as a garage for vintage classics, mostly British, with flashing chrome. Pascal Kapp owns them all. He lives for his classic sports cars. The designs and mechanics are important to him, and everything in combination. The form is what tells him this is an XK, the Coupe, or the C-Type. There's something about the design that can't be reproduced, and modern car makers can't get close to. There are nice ideas in modern cars, but he says lots and lots of great things were around back then that you just don't see anymore. Great things like the MGC GT Sebring. Most of the fewer than 5,000 Sebrings were made in 1968. Hardly any originals have survived. Their popularity as racing and rally cars landed many in the junkyard. Pascal runs an event agency. He loves tooling around country roads in his Sebring. Pascal says the sound, the look, and the handling are all things modern cars lack. Hearing the Weber carburetor moan as it sucks in air when you open it up gives him much more of a thrill than any kind of modern fuel injection could. The MG in the name is the car maker, while the C stands for the 6-cylinder engine, and GT designates the closed roadster body style. The Sebring, named after the racetrack in Florida, was the racing version with broader fenders and a 200 horsepower engine. Pascal Kapp explains that at the time, MG Motorsport's relatively small engine department built the Sebring for the Sebring races. But as far as he knows, none of the original cars have survived to the present day. They had aluminum engine blocks, of which none are left. Of course, he says, they were fitted with Weber carburetors, and the cars had adjustable chassis. So they were more than well equipped when it came to the engine. The maximum speed of some 220 kilometers per hour was impressive for 1968. Under the hood was what he calls a whopper of an engine, a 3-liter single-cast 6-cylinder block. The standard version delivered 145 horsepower, and the modified version some 200 horsepower. Pascal had his MG remake built by a specialist in England 6 years ago. And he's been improving it here and there ever since. He's given it a dependability unaccustomed with British cars. Pascal Kopp's car was perfectly equipped for rally racing, including a Tripmaster odometer and a passenger side reading lamp. And the bucket seats and racing seat belts provide perfect support. Pascal regularly takes part in classic car rallies, and for several years now he's even organized his own. He's been competing with his own rally team since 1997, but if it weren't for the extremely positive response from the teams as well as the spectators, he probably would have quit long ago. They only do it for the fun of it. Every time, it's a special experience. Pascal is always on the lookout for unusual routes for his rallies. His current project is a 10-lake rally through the foothills of the Bavarian Alps. He takes care of obtaining the permits, planning the routes, and coming up with ideas for special stages. A route has to fulfill various suitability criteria. The countryside should be picturesque, not have too much traffic, and not be too hard on the aging collector's items. Pascal points out that it's also important to have plenty of food and drink on hand so people don't have to wait in line. The competitions are varied. Not all the participants are after the grand trophy for the best time. Most of them come to have as much fun as they can. In the end, only a well-fed classic car rally driver is a happy one. So Pascal gives high priority to good food and good, quick service. It should be filling, but not exhausting. He works with the inn's managers to put together the menu and the schedule. Nothing is really at stake here, but everyone has at least some ambition. Since 1997, the motto for his rallies has been fun, leisure, and culture. And that's exactly what he wants it to be. The top priority is for everyone to have fun. And Pascal Kopp has fun, especially when he's out and about in one of his darlings, hunting for fun and beautiful routes for his next rally.